arrest me.
I don't want us to have.
I've told you where the vehicle is.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us this set of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6, reaching you live from Benin City, the Edo State capital. I am Gosgift Omone. Now the news in details. The much anticipated commissioning of the new Edo Line transport system has been temporarily put on hold as the nation mourns the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari. BeeTv News Best Orator reports that the clarification was made during an
further commended the governor's ongoing infrastructural efforts, stating that the postponed event is just one of many initiatives in progress. On the matter of a new date for the commissioning, the commissioner stated that a new rescheduled date will be announced after the official mourning of former President Muhammadu Buhari.
No new date yet, but obviously that will be after the mourning period. You can say when the National Assembly, they closed everything in honor of this man who has departed. The curtain has closed against him, and you have to Wilson Wike is called as somebody who is himself a project master. So he knows what it is for a governor to procure over 100 buses. You cannot call a non-performer to come and commission such a thing. Like our governor was invited recently by the Sokoto state government, which is also APC. And you know, even if it's PDP, the governor would have been there. If the governor of Taraba, Plateau, for example, that are PDP states, if they are doing something worthwhile and they call our governor, if the commission is going there to commission a good work, and the governor of that state has done. So I tell them, if Okpewolo is invited today, like Taraba state government, or Plateau that are under PDP, or even Oti that is working heavily in Abia under Labour, he will go and commission.
The Edo State government reaffirmed its commitment to delivering quality transportation services and assured residents that the buses will soon be operational once the appropriate time is set. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
The Edo State Police Command says the officers and men of the command has successfully released Mr. Moritada Obakobo, the chief imam of Uromi, due to the intense and sustained pressure mounted by the operatives. CSP Joe Moses Yamo said the chief has since been reunited with his family and is in a stable condition. The kidnapping occurred on 7th July 2025 at the Angu 80 area of Uromi and was reported to the Uromi Divisional Police Headquarters on 8th July 2025. Upon receipt of the report, the command immediately launched a robust manhunt for the perpetrators, deploying tactical teams and collaborating with local vigilantes to track down the assailants with a view to rescuing the victim unhurt and bringing the culprits to justice. The Commissioner of Police Edo State Command CP Monday Agbonika commends the efforts of the operatives involved in the operation and assures the public that no stone will be left unturned in identifying and apprehending those behind the kidnapping. Members of the public had urged to remain vigilant and continue to support the police with timely and credible information as we intensify efforts to rid our communities of criminal elements. As Edo people await the rescheduled dates for the commissioning of the new Edo line, residents in Benin City have commended the state government for the successful revival of the new Edo line transport service, describing it as a welcome development that will ease transportation challenges in the state. The report. The Edo line transport service, which had been inactive for several years, is to be officially relaunched with a new fleet of government parastaff. Earlier today, there was tight security outside the Daura residence of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The former president died at a London hospital on Sunday, and his hometown has since become a hub of mourning and military presence. BeeTv News' Esohe Osewige has the report.
Inside President Muhammadu Buhari's compound in Daura, the mood is sober as dignitaries arrive to pay their last respects. Katsina State Governor Diko Umar Radar was on ground receiving visitors, they unprepared to speak to the press. Among those who arrived are the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Sahid Abubakar, the former Kaduna State Governor Nasser Ahmed El-Rufai, former Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu, Buhari's former Chief of Staff Ibrahim Gambari, and his long-term media aide Gamba Shehu. The visitors were led around the premises by the governor as discussions were held over a suitable burial spot within the compound. Press crew were not allowed into his house, but family sources says all has been prepared for the burial.
Late President is Illu, Sarkin Pulandora is brother, senior for that matter, for my wife, and we're shocked. We're shocked, but everybody is waiting for his time. Exactly, it has been decided by the relatives, the family, that the burial is going to take place tomorrow, inshallah, 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Your name once again.
Ibrahim Suleiman Guiwa, Obando Mankadora, my title, and Senior Special Advisor to the Governor of Jigawa State on Assembly Matters.
Notable among them are the Muhammadu Buhari University of Transportation, the Federal Polytechnic Daura, the Air Force Reference Hospital, a 50-bed maternity center at the General Hospital, and the Kanu Maradi rail line.
They are more than important. You can't describe this man. You can't. You can't. Ask anybody. Once this man has stayed in one place, give him some minutes, you'll see 10 or more people surrounding him. That is a gift from God. That's a gift from God. If you look at it, during all these elections or whatever, I'm not a politician, so I don't want to comment. But I've never seen a human being where people will blindly go and follow him.
Security outside his house remains watertight with more deployment expected. Esohe Osewige reporting for BeeTv News.
The National President, National Butchers Employer Union of Nigeria, Mr. Sonny Omokaro, has debunked the allegations of alleged extortion and cattle theft alleged by some abattoir owners in Benin City. BeeTv News Efosa Aigbaigbe reports that Mr. Omokaro denies the allegation during a press briefing held at National Butchers Association of Nigeria Secretariat located at Ikoba Slope. The report is presented by Esohe Osewige.
The National President, National Butchers Employee Union of Nigeria, Mr. Sonny Omokaro, vehemently denied allegations of cattle theft made by Mrs. Mabel Bello and other abattoir owners in Benin. Speaking to journalists on the issue, Mr. Omokaro dismissed the claims as untrue and an attempt to tarnish his reputation. He stated that the reshuffling of cattle at the various abattoirs is a long-standing rule within the association established to help maintain the standards of the abattoirs. This practice, he explained, predates his tenure as national president and detecting the number of cows is permitted for slaughter each week.
All the allegations they are saying about me is false. I don't work in any abattoir in Benin as a national chairman. How come you accusing me that I come to steal cow? How? Steal cow? When I can afford a trailer load of cow, I come and steal cow. For what? Cow is not a rubber bag that you can steal and put in your pocket. It's not a rubber bag you can steal and put in your pocket. I've been in this business for 43 years now. There's something that is happening in the meat industry now that has not happened before, and that has not happened in any other part of the country. Our product is a perishable product, so the actors of the business, they ration it. About 3,000 butchers. If everybody start that cow every day, even if it's 3,000 cow, we consume it. So what we do, we make sure we ration it to curb wastage, and that is the essence. What these people that are making this noise, they are fighting for their own interest. They were here. They were the people in charge of this union for 7.5 years. You can't be in office forever now.
Mr. Sonny Omokhari further clarified that the Abattoir Owners Association remains an active, registered trade union at the national level, led by both a presidential and chairmanship structure. He asserted that he was duly elected as the national president, a position upon which the association's stability rests. He emphasized that their reinstatement followed a thorough investigation by the state government, which concluded that the previous allegation that led to its dissolution were false, null and void.
We are a registered union. We are a registered trade union. We have constitution, we have rules, we have regulations. The union is the National Butchers Employer Union of Nigeria, affiliated to TUC. It's not a backyard union, it's a national union. I want you to know that. They went to the state government with series of false allegations that led to the government saying our activities have been suspended. After due investigation, consideration, after the government has investigated the matter, they now find out what they said was not true. That's us to go back to our normal businesses.
Other abattoir owners also said the allegations were false and the accusers were aware of the reshuffling even when they were leaders of the union.
Schedule matter is not a matter that starts today. Even the people fighting now, they have also governed for 7 years, even more than. So since another person came in, they don't want to support. They should come and support the new leadership because everybody know the system. The cow we consume a day, the cow we kill in Benin City, we cannot consume it in Benin City. So we have to reduce to make the market peak.
The idea of saying they come and steal their cow does not exist. If you were asked to bring 4 cow, you come with 5. We have to remove one because it was an agreement. They were with us before. Even the past government, they were. So all those things they are just saying is just a lie.
What is done now started in 1966 in this union. The rationing of the cow. It does not bring scarcity of beef. It does not bring hike to the price of meat. We only use it to regulate it so that the people killing it can be in the market and the public will see it in abundance.
This collective stance from the association leadership and members paints a picture of unity against what they described as baseless accusations designed to destabilize their operations and discredit the union's president. Soher Osemegi reporting for BeeTv News.
And Governor Sheriff Obrewari ahead of the 2027 elections. He describes the president as a bold reformer and hails Governor Sheriff as a man of peace whose development strides deserves a second turn.
I call him Sheriff with confidence. As he speaks to me, he will speak to you. He's a man of patience, a man of peace. Most importantly, actions speak louder than words. People talk about my brother Sheriff. They forget that he's a man that has gone through all the stages. He didn't just come out one day, I'm going to be governor. He went through the paces step by step. He knows the system. The man has been around. I hate the word when they say that he defected. No. The man knows what he's doing, what's best for you, what's best for me, what's best for the other. This Arumamano.
The Ughelli North Council chairman, Jaro Egbo, says the area remains a stronghold of the APC and vows to deliver 85% of votes in the next election.
We are here to reiterate our earlier vow that the president has done well and is doing well, the government has done well and is doing well, and then we have adopted them for second tenure as sole candidate for the office of the president and the office of governor of Delta State.
They say the renewed unity in Ughelli North will translate into sweeping victories at the polls as the countdown to 2027 general election begins. The APC in Ughelli North is already strengthening its base, driven by renewed solidarity and the push for continued leadership at both state and federal levels. Harmony Agbafor reporting for BeeTv News.
Stakeholders at a convergence on socio-ecological issues have urged the federal government to declare state of environmental emergency, warning of severe consequences if action is delayed. Citing Ayetoro in Ondo State, where over 600 homes have been submerged and 200 billion lost to ocean surges. They stress the urgent need for intervention.
Although climate change and environmental degradation are featured prominently in national conversations, stakeholders at this gathering believe successive governments have failed to prioritize the crisis, often sacrificing meaningful action on the altar of politics. At the Nigerian Socio-Ecological Alternatives Convergence with the Team Policy Framework for Addressing Socio-Economic Challenges in Nigeria, organized by Heads of Mother Earth Foundation, Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth, Nigerian Social Nation, and other civil society organizations, participants warned that Nigeria stands at the front line of escalating social and ecological threats. The traditional ruler of Baluambe Ojabonwumi says his community is facing severe sea incursions with over 80% of its buildings and infrastructure already submerged.
Over 600 buildings have been washed away. They no longer exist. Have been washed away by the ocean surge. The sea will rise 6 feet above the normal level on certain particular time of the month, April, February, September. That is when we have the worst disasters.
Professor Emmanuel Ladipo, a climatologist, emphasized the urgency of sustained climate conversations, warning the issue will persist as long as humanity exists.
The climate had been changing in the past, is changing now, and will continue to change. So the discourse on climate change will continue forever.
The executive director of the foundation, Nimo Basi, and public affairs analyst Jaye Gaskia calls for immediate national intervention, describing the situation as both a climate crisis and a humanitarian emergency.
Every single moment that passes, the crisis gets more complicated. And so we're sounding the alarm. This is a time for environmental emergency across Nigeria. Across Nigeria. There's no part of this nation that's exempted because the crisis is so much. It's like raw wounds that are not being attended to.
Natural resource governance is about governance. And you cannot have effective natural resource governance without having effective community governance. We no longer have community governance.
With new environmental threats emerging and global mitigation efforts still struggling to make meaningful impact, the call for a national environmental emergency is seen by many as no longer optional but necessary to prevent an impending catastrophe. Freeman Osawi reporting for BeeTv News.
It was a moment steeped in tradition and rich with cultural meaning at the historic palace grounds in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Chuks Unduka Eze, the Ajie of Asaba and a respected son of the kingdom, renews his oath of allegiance to the 14th Asagba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty, Professor Epiphany Azenge, a distinguished senior advocate of Nigeria. BeeTv News Esohe Oserige has more.
At the palace grounds in Asaba, the Delta State capital, Chang Unduka Eze, Ajay of Asaba, and respected son of the kingdom, renews his oath of allegiance to the 14th Asaba of Asaba. His Royal Majesty, Professor Epifani Asinje, also a senior advocate of Nigeria.
I, Chukwuemeka, also known as Chok Nduka Eze, the Isama of
is really for the public. It's not for me. It's for the public. It's really for the public. It's not for me. It's for the public. We're also encouraging others that the burden of leadership, to be a king, is a very heavy burden, and he needs all the help he can get. And so it's really a call to others to understand what the burden of leadership is, and for those of us who are following him to rule us, and for those of us who are following him to rule our slaves and support him fully, because he can only be as good as the support we give him.
Responding, the Asagba describes the reaffirmation as a powerful gesture of unity and shared purpose, praising the Isama Ajay's leadership and cultural contributions to the kingdom.
People should be able to speak truth to power. As and when the name arises, support, you've been quite supportive. Carried our banner, carried our message all over the world. The people are hearing. To see it.
In reaffirming his loyalty, the Isama Ajay of Asaba reminds the kingdom the tradition is not just preserved, it is lived gesture, speaks to unity, memory, and enduring strength of Asaba's royal institution. Sohe Osemeki, reporting for BeeTv News.
As humanitarian aid continue to pour in for victims of the recent Yellow Water attack in Benue State, displaced residents are calling for the rebuilding of their community to enable resettlement in their ancestral homes, rather than remaining in camps. This follows recent reports that internally displaced persons rejected the state's government's resettlement efforts, citing insecurity and poor planning. BeeTv News' Esohe Oserige has more.
It has been a month of mixed emotion and deep uncertainty for victims of the deadly attack on Yele Water community, which claimed over 200 lives and left many displaced.
My humble appeal is that if the government could help us and bring us back to our ancestral home, we were not meant to be in IDPs.
Survivors says the community continues to suffer silent, sporadic attacks following the horrific incident of June 13, further worsening their plight. They are now appealing for the complete rebuilding of the community, especially the market, alongside the provision of basic amenities and adequate security to help them return to their normal life.
Every of things have been destroyed, and we are managing from this primary school. Is the place that we are sleeping. And there is no way to go in farm, no way to eat, no way to doing some other things. And now we need the security so that they can help us, because as this thing happened, no way to go farm.
We need to rebuild that market, because when you do that, number one, you are giving us hope. Again, the clinic that I told you that we have a clinic here is down. Nothing is happening here. Part of them is gone down.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Netawe Yawada, visited Yelewata on the President's directive, announcing plans to rebuild the community through a comprehensive response focused on peace building, humanitarian aid, and long-term development.
By looking at both the human and material destruction that took place in this place, human lives were lost. Buildings were destroyed, businesses were destroyed, livelihoods were destroyed, and to us as a government we see this as serious and unacceptable, and we must respond to it as quick as possible to restore life, restore security, and ensure that livelihoods return back to these people of this community, and that's why we're here.
The minister also met with key stakeholders at Government House Makurdi for needs assessment and assured that peace will soon return to Yelewata and other crisis-hit communities in Benue State. Esohe Osemegi, reporting for BeeTv News.
The Asagba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty Obi Professor Epifani Azinge, urges the federal government to urgently repair the failed portions of the Asaba end of the Asaba-Beni Highway. Inspecting the road, the monarch lamented over a year of neglect despite a rehabilitation flag-off in March, says waiting for the project to progress from Agbo end is no longer acceptable, especially as rains worsen at the damage there. Asagba warns the road condition is affecting flights, local businesses, and forcing heavy trucks into inner road, risking total collapse.
Because this has been increasingly dilapidating, so to speak, and it has lingered for a while. It's affecting many aspects of our economy. It's affecting flights coming in with people from across the Niger, not choosing to fly through Asaba anymore because they cannot cross this part of Asaba back to Onitsha. It's also affecting us socially in the sense that there is now a detour of vehicles from this road into Asaba. So we are concerned and we want to use this medium to call on the federal government for quick intervention. I'm trying to see how I can summon the director of FEMA or the controller of works to see what they can do here. It is now a matter of urgency, if I not use the word emergency. So something must be done.
As you can see here, even me, I'm a driver too, understand? I have my own car that I drive. Sometimes if you enter this road, you will stay here till daybreak. You cannot see a way to go out, understand? If you anywhere where you put head, you cannot see a road to pass. Even yesterday, hold up there till daybreak. Every day, hold up the day till daybreak. Understand? So, and people used to, motor used to fall down here, 247. Tanker used to fall, truck used to fall. The masses are suffering here, seriously. Masses are suffering. No, even people, there's some people that if they don't come out a day, they cannot see daily bread.
From here to Abraka, there's no road at all. The government to help us to do the road, that is the only thing. You can see our vehicle the way it is. We use the money that we work to repair the vehicle. That is our problem. And buy fuel again. So we don't even have money to do our account. That is our problem. So we are begging our honorable governor to help us to do the work.
And you're still watching BeeTv News at 6. We'll be right back.
Congratulations to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, on your victory at the Supreme Court. The Coordinator General, ASAN for ASAN Global Support League, Dr. Elizabeth Okoruwa Okoje, popularly known as Dr. Ojugo, felicitate with you, Your Excellency, on your threefold victory at the Tribunal, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Courts, respectively. Your Excellency, your victory is a testament to the visionary leadership which has been characterized by your unwavering commitment to the welfare and prosperity of Edo people. As a proud daughter of Esa land, I am very excited to acknowledge the numerous achievements of your administration in a very short time. As a medical practitioner with over 25 years of experience, I have the privilege to run a thriving practice in 2 locations in New Jersey, United States. Your Excellency, let me reassure you of my commitment to giving back to the society as a way of collaborating with your administration so as to improve and drive positive change in our dear healthcare system in Edo State. I urge opposition leaders in Edo State to join Governor Monday Okpebolo in the task of reinventing Edo State into the state of our shared dreams. Signed, Dr. Elizabeth Okoruwa Okoje, popularly known as Dr. Ojugo, American-based medical practitioner and Coordinator General, ASAN for ASAN Global Support League.
Welcome back. Respondents in Benin City have explained the importance of the evacuation of people-oriented projects to touch and transform the lives of the ordinary citizens in the society. BeeTv News Freeman Osawe reports that respondents listed education, skill acquisition centers, healthcare centers and schools are some examples of people-oriented projects.
When the roads are good, there will be safe movements.
People-oriented projects are seen as projects that can touch, transform lives positively, and affect the lives of citizens in a country. These projects could range from infrastructure such as roads, education, electricity, employment, and policies that is said to better the lives of the citizens. Some respondents said so far, citizens have not really enjoyed people-oriented projects to the fullest in Nigeria, especially infrastructure, but however said, as a state, it is a gradual step taken because the government is rebuilding roads, renovating schools, and also putting policies in place that will affect the lives of the citizen positively.
Projects that are basically ones that are significant are projects that are directed towards human capacity development, like skill acquisition, education, even subsidy in education. It's people-oriented projects. Let's talk about roads, which would be very, very important for business. For example, let us say that the cost of data, for example, MTN cost of data, and people are complaining that this thing is too high, this tariff is too high. So government should do something about it. It's a people-oriented project. Although it's not a fixed project of the ability, but it's also a project based on what people consume day by day.
Others urge government at all levels to continue to execute more people-oriented projects which will affect the lives of the people positively.
The road aspect, he has taken it up. Start the work. Though the past governor, they did well, but the main thing that we are suffering in Nigeria today is the road. The roads are bad, but the governor has taken it to himself to say no, he wants to put an end. Enough is enough. So as for the road aspect, the present governor is trying.
Government at all levels have been charged to continue prioritizing people's welfare through impactful projects. Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
Residents in Benin City have advocated the need for the proper handling and maintenance of public infrastructure executed by government to cater for the needs of the citizens so as to ensure their sustainability in serving the public. BeeTv News Freeman Osawe has more.
Public infrastructure amenities executed by governments to care and serve the masses. This public infrastructure includes streetlights, public buildings, mass transit buses, amongst others, and they stand the test of time when there is a high level of maintenance culture. Some respondents in Benin City have advocated for proper awareness to enlighten the public on the need to carefully use this infrastructure for the benefit of everyone, because the government, on their part, have done well by providing this public infrastructure for the public, and as such, it is the obligation of the public to utilize them properly.
It's good to use it with care, because at least the government do it for us, so we can be a beneficiary of the country. So like this street light now, the way it is now, okay, let me say at night you can use it to see everywhere, but if you now destroy it now, at night you cannot use it to see anything again. So you have to handle it with care, because if they give us the opportunity to provide the street light, we cannot be able to do it.
Government property should be well taken off. For example, we have the walkway, and you see many people using their wheelbarrow and other things to block the walkway. And then we talk about the gutter. You see people carrying everything, nylon, this and that, and block the drainage. And all those things should be properly be synthesized. The government should make awareness. They should let people know. And there should be a kind of a price to pay when you are caught on this act of trying to abuse government property.
It's our responsibility to handle government property, which extension public property, with care. I experienced today when it rains today, so on my way I saw a lot of people were pouring dirt on the flood. You know, they don't know the consequences of their action. So, and it's the government responsibility to properly educate its citizens on how to keep our surrounding clean. For our citizens, they don't know the consequences. They don't know that cellophanes don't decay over a long period of time. So they don't know most of these things. Our market women, how many of them know the consequences of them putting cellophanes in the drains? So, but there should be proper orientation.
Everybody should know what is good and what is bad. When you're talking about putting refuge on the drainage, it's a very bad one. I think government should create more awareness and put a very serious task force. When I say task force, very serious task force, not the compromising task force. A serious task force about putting refugees in drainage is very bad.
Public infrastructure maintenance should not just be seen as the duty of the government, but also the citizens themselves. Freeman Usawi reporting for BeeTv News.
The Akwa Ibom state government has pledged to collaborate with key players in the gas sector to unlock Nigeria's vast gas potential. Represented by Deputy Governor Akon Eyakeyi at the South-South Gas Utilization Forum, Governor Umo Eno emphasized the importance of the gas industry in driving development in the Niger Delta region and assured the state government's support. The key players in Nigeria's gas distribution sector stressed the need to prioritize partnerships that enhance infrastructure, improve regulatory frameworks, and promote commercially viable development. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and Gas, Ekperipe Ekpo, noted that the forum is a call to action to turn gas into jobs and drive economic growth in the South-South region.
Catalyst for industrialization, environmental innovation, and inclusive prosperity for our people.
The case for positioning the region as a hub for gas commercialization and utilization is compelling. The region has the reserve, the infrastructure potentials, a peaceful investment climate, and most importantly, governments and the people ready to partner for development.
This forum signals our shift from talk shops. It is a catalyst for concrete implementation. It represents a strategic shift from intention to execution, fully aligned with the Decade of Gas initiative and the presidential mandate to deploy gas-powered solutions for a more resilient, prosperous energy future.
And now moving to the business world, where the federal government's decision to retain the current value-added tax rate, despite recently approved tax reforms, is expected to result in immediate revenue losses, particularly for state and local governments. While the reforms aim to modernize VAT and company income tax regimes, the revenue impact at the federal level is expected to be cushioned by improvements in the CIT compliance. However, subnational governments, which rely heavily on VAT allocations, are likely to face budget constraints. Let's now join BeeTv News' Faith Ojo for details of this and more from the business world.
In absence of new financing sources, the IMF projects that states may need to reduce public spending or increase internal revenue efforts. The decision to delay a VAT increase was driven by high poverty and food insecurity. As of mid-2025, only 5.5 million households are being reached under the Federal Cash Transfer Program, limiting government's capacity to offset the social impact of a tax hike. Despite supporting the ongoing reforms, the IMF warned that further delays could worsen fiscal pressures. It recommended the adoption of a medium-term revenue plan with clear timelines for tax adjustment. The reforms focused on digital compliance tools and tightening exemptions are expected to improve Nigeria's low revenue to GDP ratio, which rose to 14.4% in 2024 from 9.8% in 2023. Public debt rose to 52.9% of GDP, with increased payments accounting to 41.1% of federal revenue. The IMF advised against additional borrowing and called for a natural fiscal stance in 2025. Dangote Group unveils plans for Nigeria's largest deep-sea port and export project. Dangote Group has announced plans to construct Nigeria's largest and deepest seaport at Olokola in Ogun State. The proposed facility will support the export of fertilizer, petrochemicals, and liquefied natural gas, while also enabling the importation of industrial equipment and raw materials. The Olokola site is situated approximately 100 kilometers from the company's Lekki-based refinery and fertilizer plant. The planned seaport is expected to rival the Lekki deep sea port and enhance Nigeria's maritime logistics infrastructure. The company currently uses natural gas from the Niger Delta for hydrogen production at its fertilizer plant. A 4,000-truck gas-powered fleet will commence domestic fuel distribution from 2025. The implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act has attracted an estimated $16 billion in investment to Nigeria's oil and gas sector since its enactment in 2021. According to a report by the House of Representatives, investment levels rose sharply from a baseline of $55 million in 2020 to $16 billion by 2024, indicating increased investor confidence in Nigeria's energy sector. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has undertaken reforms to streamline the license process, including the introduction of over 17 new license categories. Regulatory framework adjustments are aimed at improving industry compliance and reducing inefficiencies. Naira strengthens to 4-month high at 1,518 Naira per dollar. The Nigerian Naira appreciated to 1,518 Naira per dollar on July 15, 2025, making its highest level since March 14, 2025. This represented a 0.74% appreciation in the official foreign exchange market from 1,530.26 Naira per dollar recorded on July 12, 2025. The Naira's recovery was supported by improved FX liquidity, increased Central Bank of Nigeria interventions, and rising interest from foreign investors. The CBN sold $50 million in foreign exchange and conducted an open market operations auction during the period. BeeTv News, Faith Ojo reporting.
And now moving to the global scenes, where Donald Trump expressed disappointment with Vladimir Putin, but stated he's not done with him in a recent interview. Also, Gaza father outraged after Israeli strike kills son searching for SIP at water point. Let's now join BeeTv News correspondent Harmony Abafor for details of this and more from the global sense.
Donald Trump expressed disappointment with Vladimir Putin, but he stated he's not done with him in a recent interview. Trump mentioned that he thought a deal to end the Ukraine war was possible 4 times, but each time Russia would take actions like knocking down buildings in Kyiv. Trump plans to send weapons to Ukraine and warned Russia of severe tariffs if there is no ceasefire deal within 50 days. He also endorsed NATO shifting his previous stance that it was obsolete since member countries are now paying their bills. Trump emphasized his support for collective defense, allowing smaller countries to defend themselves against. An Israeli strike on a Gaza water distribution point killed 10 people, including 6 children, with one father, Mahmoud Abdul Rahman Ahmed, mourning his son Abdullah, who was searching for a sip of water. The Israeli military attributed the strike to a technical error while targeting a Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist. The incident highlights Gaza's severe water crisis, where people queue daily for limited water supplies. The UN's Catherine Russell condemned the incident, calling for Israel to review its rules of engagement and comply with international humanitarian law. Mahmoud urged the world to pressure Israel to end the 21-month war, saying, "We are civilians, we have no weapons, no power. All we want is for this war and the massacre to stop." An investigation by Medicine Sans Frontières (MSF) found that Ethiopian government troops likely executed 3 aid workers, including a Spanish national, in Tigray for the region 4 years ago. The aid workers were on a humanitarian mission and were clearly marked with MSF vests and logos when they were shot at close range. MSF criticized the Ethiopian government for failing to provide a credible account of the incident despite multiple meetings. A landmark climate case brought by Torres Strait Islanders against the Australian government was dismissed by a federal court judge. The case claimed the government breached its duty of care to protect the islands from climate change impacts. While the judge recognized the devastating impact of climate change on the islands, he ruled that current laws don't allow for compensation for loss of culture and customs due to government policies. The judge acknowledged the need for urgent action on climate change, saying the islands will face a bleak future if actions isn't taken. The islanders, who have a deep spiritual connection to the land and waters, are devastated by the decision, with one saying if Boigu was gone or I had to leave it because it was underwater, I will be nothing. And that is all for now from the global scenes. Harmony Agba for reporting for BeeTv News.
Moving to the entertainment scenes, when Nollywood actress Angela Okori has disclosed that multiple bullet fragments from a 2019 shooting incident remained logged in her skull 6 years after the attack. The 39-year-old made the revelation via an Instagram post, accompanied by videos showing her undergoing medical scans and treatments. Also, Nigerian actress and media personality Omotunde Adebowale David, popularly known as Lolo One or Adaku from Jennifer's Diary, has revealed a new romantic relationship after years of being divorced. She has shared her relationship publicly through a birthday message to her partner, Emmanuel K. Lawrence. Details of this and more from the entertainment world. Angela Okori reported that she had been experiencing a deterioration in health in recent weeks, prompting several hospital visits and medical tests. Scans revealed the continued presence of bullet remnants in her head. Okori originally went public about the shooting incident in December 2019, stating that she was ambushed by gunmen she described as assassins. The attack, according to her, lasted over 30 minutes, during which she and her team did not receive assistance. In a 2021 update, the actress reiterated that bullet fragments were still emerging from her head and linked the motive for the attack to jealousy and rivalry within the Nollywood industry. She maintains that she has not forgiven those she believes were behind the incident, not certain bloggers she accuses of spreading falsehoods about it. Despite her ongoing health struggles, Okori has expressed gratitude for surviving the ordeal and remains committed to her recovery. In another development, Omotunde Lolo One Adebowale finds love again. In the social media post, the 48-year-old described her partner as a sweet gentleman and referred to him as Mr. Luxury, celebrating his birthday with a loving message. Lolo One had previously stated in interviews that she was open to love, but cautious about remarrying. She cited a desire for an ideal partner, expressing unique preferences, including a liking for visually distinctive men and affinity for Eurocentric lifestyles. She had 3 children and has often been candid about her personal life, including the challenges of navigating love post-divorce. Nigerian artist Burna Boy has issued an apology for controversial remarks made in a 2023 Apple Music interview where he criticized the Afrobeat genre. The Grammy Award-winning singer had previously stated that Afrobeat lacked substance and that many artists in the genre had limited real-life experience. In a recent interview with BBC Radio 1 Extra, Burna Boy clarified that the backlash he received made him understand the value of having a unifying genre label, such as Afrobeat, particularly for promoting African music on the global stage. He explained that at the time of his original comments, he was in a mentally dark space and did not fully grasp the cultural significance of the Afrobeat label. Burna Boy stated that his music is a fusion of various elements and resisted being confined to a single genre. He has now embraced the Afrobeat identity more fully, a shift evident in his latest album, No Sign of Weakness, which was released last week. The nominations for the 2025 Emmy Awards have begun to roll out, with CBS Mornings unveiling the first 2 categories on July 15th. The full list of nominations is scheduled to be released later via an official live stream. Among the expected top contenders are series such as The White Lotus, Severance, The Last of Us, and Slow Horses. In the drama category, for comedy, returning series include The Bear, Heart Shrinking, and Abbott Elementary, were anticipated to receive multiple nominations. Notable actors expected to receive nominations include Pedro Pascal, Adam Scott, Jeremy Allen White, Gary Oldman, Jean Smart, Ayo Edebiri, Jason Segel, and Quinta Borson. The announcement highlights both established programs and newcomers, signaling a competitive award season. And that is it from the entertainment news. God's Gift Omone reporting for BeeTv News. And now moving to the sports world, where Victor Boniface has admitted he turned down a good money Premier League offer before joining Leverkusen, citing a need for the right playing style and fitness. Let's now join the BeeTv News sport correspondent Freeman Osawi for details of this and more from the sporting world.
Nigerian Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface has opened up about his decision to turn down a lucrative Premier League offer before joining Bayer Leverkusen, emphasizing the importance of finding the right playing style and environments to thrive. In an honest video shared on social media, Boniface revealed that while the financial terms from England were attractive, he prioritized football philosophy and personal fitness. Boniface stressed that throughout his career, he has always sought for clubs where success is a priority, saying, "Since I started my professional football career, every team I have played, it's either we came first or second." Chelsea defender Levi Colwill has claimed the Blues are now ready to win the Premier League and UEFA Champions League after showing they can compete with the very best clubs in the world. The 22-year-old was impressive in the 3-0 win over Paris Saint-Germain in New Jersey's MetLife Stadium, which crowned the Blues champions of the world in front of the watching US President Donald Trump. Chelsea added the CWC trophy to their UEFA Conference League trophy and a guaranteed place in next season's tournament, making it a huge successful season for manager Enzo Maresca. Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi could be leaving relegated Leicester City and the Premier League entirely, according to a report from Sky Germany's Florian Plettenberg. Ndidi had been on the radar of Premier League clubs like Manchester United and even Everton, with a modest relegation release clause of €9 million. However, it seems his future lies outside the shores of Britain. A few Bundesliga clubs could benefit from his strength and still in midfield. Borussia Dortmund Niko Kovac is seeking a robust number 6, while Bayer Leverkusen may lead to replace Granit Xhaka. Ndidi, who contributed 5 assists in 28 Premier League games last season, bring vast experience with 66 caps for Nigeria Super Eagles and a 2020/21 FA Cup title with Leicester. And that's it on Sport News. Freeman Osawi reporting for BeeTv News.
And that is the size of our news package for tonight. Many thanks for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6. I remain God's Gift All Money. Have a good night.